This is some footage from way back in the day, before I was even technically a dog trainer. It kind of shows, how I got into this. This is a rescue dog that we wound up fostering for about a year before we were able to place her in a suitable home. She had some serious aggressive uh, prey drive instincts that were, making it really, really hard for her to find any kind of peace in her nature because she just had such a high prey drive. A little backstory: she was found by some campers out in the wilderness in Oregon while they were basically hiking through the middle of nowhere. They came upon this dog, and her face was just covered in scars and bloody cuts and deep gashes because she'd basically just been living out in the wilderness in eastern Oregon for who knows how long. And during that time, she'd had to fight a variety of different animals in order to kill them and eat them. So not only had she already kind of crossed the hump of, like, getting a taste for fighting, but she was literally surviving off of her ability to, like, hunt and kill prey. So those hikers took her to the animal shelter in Eugene, Oregon. And after spending some time there, she was basically on the red list, and that was, there was basically just no one could really handle her. And she was a sweetheart for people, but she would just go absolutely ballistic whenever she saw any kind of other dog or other animal. They had her off actually outside in her own area at the shelter while they were trying to find somebody to work with her, to take her on. So we stepped in literally on her last day and took her in, kind of really not knowing what we were getting into. Um, as you can see in this video, and I mean, this footage is old. I wasn't even a dog trainer here. I was just, this is how I built my experience up, learning what really helps these dogs. And you can see, I mean, I'm still using the same principles that I use today. No tension on the leash, focusing on establishing a cooperative communication with the dog, only using leash pressure when it's necessary to get the dog's attention, and giving the dog rewards that are in their language. I never really got into using treats, not with the kind of dogs I was working with. So basically, what we're doing here is, this is my backyard, and I have a cat sitting over on the porch, and that's why the dog is attentive towards that area that's off camera. And I just keep using space, pace, body language, and the leash to communicate with her that I would like for her to be able to approach this animal without engaging into her prey drive uh, mindset. We did this exercise over and over and over again for a long many months, and she definitely made a lot of progress. However, with a dog like this, it's just like you'll never really. I wasn't able to fully rehabilitate this dog because I didn't have access to balanced dogs who were able to provide her with the kind of association with animals that I wasn't able to provide as a human. I used whatever resources were available to me, like this cat here, but a dog like this truly needs to learn from other dogs, and I didn't have access to those resources during this time. Fortunately, we were able to find her a home after a while. So basically, when you're working with a dog with prey drive, you just want to go through the same kind of uh, things that you see me doing here. Is I'm like letting her focus on the dog, but I'm making sure that her focus stays in a lower state. But I mean, that's, you saw how I gave the little leash pop here, and you see how she's literally backing right up into me because she's so focused in her, like, DNA on this cat. I think the cat walked around the corner and started walking down the driveway. That's why you can see what I'm doing here. All I'm doing is keeping her in first and second gear. even though she's focused on the cat. If I were to let her go into third gear, then she would eventually go into fourth gear, and I would be like literally like pulling her on the leash and having to do all that stuff, and I don't like doing that. So I try and establish communication while the dog's state of mind is in this gear, where she's definitely focused on what she wants, but she's also being cooperative and receptive to me. Like right on that fine line where I'm able to influence her and correct her and also encourage her and reward her in a language that she understands. And there's no substitute for repetition with something like this, other than, full on submersion into a dog pack or a situation where there's other balanced animals that aren't going to attack her. Meaning, like, put a muzzle on her and bring her around some balanced dogs who she can go through all that stuff with, and the dogs will help correct her without feeling threatened by her. Dog trainers that have those resources are very, very valuable. Like, if you can find a dog trainer who has one or more extremely well balanced dogs, they would be in a much better position to rehabilitate a dog that has extreme animal aggression. To do that individually as a human, it's not going to be able to communicate it thoroughly enough in the dog's own language. I try and help every dog I can, but with a straight up dog like this, we just took this dog on as a foster to help, which I, would always try and do. But as far as training goes, this isn't the kind of dog that I'm really trying to train, just because I don't want to waste anyone's time or money. I would encourage someone, if they had a seriously like killer dog, to seek someone who has access to like a dog pack of balanced dogs so they can truly rehabilitate your dog for you. It's going to be a long process though. But here we are again, another day, same thing. Cat's sitting on the chair now instead of drinking water. And I'm just working with the dog. You can see maybe a few weeks have passed by. The climate's gotten a little cooler. We got this dog in the middle of summer. And she's making progress. You can see I'm letting her stare at the cat, and all I do is back away and then call her away. And you can see she's making progress, but it's you got to really be careful to not get fooled, and you really got to take your ego out of it, because when you're working with a dog who truly is a killer, like for real, it will happen so fast that you might think you're made 99.5% of the progress, and then all of a sudden, bam, and it's the kind of thing that'll humble you and actually make some people just quit training dogs, because when you're in this level of animal rehabilitation, which isn't, like I said, this is something I was just trying to do as a foster to help the dog. I didn't take this dog on with the intention of trying to train the dog. I intended to provide this dog with a safe space where she wouldn't be euthanized while we tried to find a suitable owner for her. That was all. And in the process of helping her, she taught me a lot about how to train a dog like this. And I really understand what my strengths are and what my limitations are as well. So this dog was on a whole nother level, straight up killer, taste for blood, had literally been surviving by killing wild animals and eating them. So it's no joke. But I was able to help her just learn to at least sort of learn how to be calm, because when we picked her up, this kind of behavior from her would have been seeming like totally impossible. She would literally go in complete red zone as soon as she saw or smelled another animal. Even if she couldn't see it, if she could smell the cat was around, she would be just ballistic. And it took a lot of days of repetition of this exact kind of stuff. But you see these eyes. I mean, look at those eyes, dude. That is not what you want on your dog. I mean, she's doing good right here. But let me tell you, like, straight up, this dog is still ready to kill that cat. Like, no joke. And she's a sweetheart. That's why we changed her name to Sweetie. Now, part of a rehab with a dog like this, and you'll see right here, is we're giving her the opportunity to, like, well, we had to give her exercise and stuff for her physical body and for her state of mind, but and also exercise with boundaries. And here we're giving her a little bit of a job, We have some yard work going on. So what we did was slap the muzzle on her. You can see she's got a little winter jacket on because it was a nice fall afternoon. And the muzzle's only on in case the person loses hold of the leash or something unpredictable happens, because if the handler isn't giving 100% attention to the dog, then it's a good idea to take as many safety precautions as you can. And because you can see here the handler is like doing yard work, it's just a good idea to slap that muzzle on there so that if the leash got loose or something happened, you can just have that. But my point is you want to engage with the dog, is any dog, in the best way you can, is to give them like a participatory role in your thing. So here you can tell it's wintertime now. She's inside. We had her in the kennel inside a two-car garage. And here she is learning manners. She's drooling, she's waiting for dinner. And so what I'm trying to do is just teach her to, learn how to be paying attention to the human even when she's excited. And food is one way to use excitement to teach a dog. You can see all these scars all over her face. They had all healed up by this point, and she obviously hadn't gotten any new cuts, but you can see all that stuff in the brown there that looks like white specks is all scar tissue where there's no fur. And when she leans forward into the bowl to eat, you'll see on the back of her neck she's got like huge gashes, like right there, two gigantic like holes in her neck. She was just torn up from fighting. But you can see, working with a dog like this, it's all about repetition, consistency, patience, and patience. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.